Hello, everyone. Welcome to another enriching episode of the Business Insights podcast, brought to you by Policybazaar for Business. We are your trusted partner in making business insurance simple and affordable and accessible for organizations across industries. I'm your host, Ashu Bajaj, Business Head for Policybazaar for Business. Today, we are delighted to have Anil with us, who's the founder and director at Newtreo Global Private Limited. Nutrio is an innovative FMCG company transforming the food and beverage space in India with a unique blend of quality, creativity, and commitment.
Thank you, Ashu, for having me here. It's a wonderful time to be doing this. We are just starting out on a journey of expansion, and to be able to present our thoughts and for giving us this platform, I'm really grateful. I think Policybazaar for Business has really helped us in our journey, and being able to discuss that face to face with you is such a pleasure and such an honor for me. Thank you so much.
Anil, let's start with the journey of Nutrio Global. What sparked the idea behind the company and how has it grown into what it is today?
So Newtreo was formed in November of 2022. There are four co-founders who decided to work together and create this. We've all known each other for several years. We had all been entrepreneurs for more than 20 years each. And then COVID, the break, gave us a big opportunity to think of what we are doing and replan and look forward to creating something new. And that's how the idea started, we wanted to look at the expertise we had, where we wanted to go in a new direction, and then focus on one specific topic, which was nutrition. So if you look at the word Nutrio, it's a combination of nutrition and a new direction. So trio in Spanish means direction. So it's a new direction that we wanted to take related to nutrition, and that's how this word was coined. It's a unique word that we created. And in the last 2 years' time, Nutrio has grown from just being an idea into a formal company, and then we've managed to sell like more than a lakh cartons of products, etc. So it's grown rapidly in just 2 years' time. A lot of this is because of the experience of the founders, more than 20 years of work in the FMCG marketing branding space, and then our connects and our resources that we had from our previous businesses and experience. But it's also because of what we want to do with Nutrio. We want to provide high quality, nutritious products to people at a very reasonable price. We started our journey with creating very high quality juices. Vietnam as a country has a very vast shoreline as well as very large plantations, and they make these amazing juices out of real fruit. It's processed right in front of you and you can see it being made. These very high quality products is what we've started importing from Vietnam. So we wanted to bring that international quality taste product range to India, but in the mass premium segment, which is how we define mass premium is a price range of 20 rupees to 100 rupees per item. Now, our experience in the last 2 years has been to focus on 3 P's, which is what we've sort of settled down on. The first P, of course, is the product. The product has to be of a very high quality. So the product is our first focus. If we get the product right, then the next stage is placement. Where is it available? A consumer likes the product, but he can't find it anywhere, then it doesn't work. A consumer likes the product, he should be able to quickly buy it and take a decision that this is what I want to buy. So our products are now available in small stores in 14 states already, but we are expanding. They are available in a number of regional modern trade stores, and they will soon be available in all the national modern chains also. So the third P is processes. If our processes are not right, we might be able to do business for a short period of time or a certain amount of volume, but as we grow, if the processes are not set in place, it's going to become very complicated, it's going to become very risky, it's going to become very difficult to manage everything. So we focus on these 3 P's, and that's what we've been doing with Nutrio in the past 2 years' time.
Anil, the FMCG sector is dynamic and competitive. How does Nutrio stay ahead of the curve in terms of market trends and consumer demands?
So FMCG in India is very, very complicated. There are so many brands and so many products available. A lot of these brands and products, they come in, they disrupt the market, and then they don't exist a few years later, or even sometimes a few months later. It's very challenging. There are challenges in terms of distribution, in terms of sales, and we are doing all of this under a lot of pressure because each product has a shelf life. and you have to manufacture, sell within that shelf life. And those kind of challenges are there. We knew those challenges before we got into the business, but then as entrepreneurs, that's our expertise. These risks are what we are willing to take, and these are the risks that give us returns. If we don't take these risks, then there are no returns. The only problem is that over time, as entrepreneurs, you start in the morning, and by evening you've taken like 20 decisions which are risky, and sometimes high risk ones also. You just casually take it that, okay, one container moving, it's all right, it doesn't matter. 10 are already in the warehouse, so if one more is coming, you've just delegated the task to someone, and somebody's forgotten to take an insurance for that container. We don't know. So we have to be on top of this all. So FMCG is a very, very challenging game in India, and we are managing that with our third P, the processes that we are setting up. We as entrepreneurs get involved in the key stages. For example, when we were first importing our first container, 2 containers from Vietnam, every step, every day, that's what I was doing. Looking at where's the container going to move from, how is it going to be packed, what policies we are going to follow in terms of the agencies that we are involving in this whole process, getting the insurance right. Every step I personally had to do it, and of course the team was along with me. But now I think after that about 30 containers have been imported, and I really don't know. All I know is, has the checklist been followed? Are the processes being followed? And I get a report saying yes, it's being done. So it gets delegated. We have to do that for every step. Our biggest challenge, of course, is sales. How do we sell these products because one container has like 3,300 cartons of one particular product, or a mix of 2-3 products, and each carton has 24 pieces further. So we end up with 60,000-70,000 pieces of one product in one container, and it has a shelf life of anywhere between 12 to 18 months.
Managing the supply chain for imported goods and FMCG distribution comes with its own set of challenges. So could you share some of the risks Nutrio encounters in this process?
Not some risks, there are lots of risks in this, lots, like from the time we place an order till the time that the stock is inside our warehouse, every day, that journey sometimes is 2 months, 2.5 months, it could be 3 months also. Every day we are worried about it, every day, because first of all, when you are importing, you have to pay in advance. So, you paid the money, and then you're hoping that the money is blocked, and how are we going to recover it? So the recovery only happens when the stock comes all the way into our warehouse, and thereafter we are able to distribute it. In this journey, of course, is the production in the countries wherever we are placing orders, then the packaging of the containers, the shipment, or even if the packaging is not done right, if it's not stocked properly, if it's not sealed properly, etc. There's the ships, there's a lot of movement in the ships. There's a possibility that those packages will get damaged inside the container itself. So there might be no external damage to the container, but the product's inside it. So we have to ensure that each one of those steps are taken properly and carefully. Then, of course, this whole thing about shipping lines, you will not believe it, but you should see a map of where the ships are right now in the world, and you'll realize that you can't see the ocean. There are so many ships and so many containers moving on these lines that it's very easy for 1 or 2 or 10 containers to get lost. And if a container is lost, it is literally impossible. Even if you retrieve the container 6 months later or whatever, the shelf life of the product inside is gone. So that the stock is of no use to us if we do it. Also, we place orders based on demand, and if you're not able to meet that demand, then we make another lot and produce it. So that extra stock that's lying somewhere, it's a waste for us. So there are many risks involved. Even when the container comes to India, getting it custom cleared, the testing done, it's a process. It's a long process. So there are several risks involved. Then you load the container on a trailer, and then it ships to our warehouse. Every step has a risk. And now that's one part of the risk. Once the stock is inside our warehouse, let's say our main warehouse is in Nhava Sheva in Mumbai, our second warehouse is in West Bengal, our third warehouse is in Guwahati, our fourth warehouse is in Karimganj in Assam, etc. Now the movement of goods between one warehouse to the other, every step involves a risk. There's a truck, and we had an incident last year where we were not really insured for that, and we had a truck full of our goods moving from one place to the other, and it rained very heavily, and there was leakage in the roof of the truck body, etc., and the entire shipment was full of water by the time it reached the other side. So when we more than 50% of the cartons and the product inside were damaged, and this is a risk we are taking. So there are two ways of looking at this. One is that what percentage of the value is at risk at any point of time. And that percentage for us is generally between 5 to 10% of the entire business is at risk. That's 10% of the business value. If you look at profit terms, that's almost like, you do 2 years of work, and 2 years of work is always at risk. Whatever you earn in 2 years of time is always at risk because of these movements, because of these shipments, etc., etc. And then, of course, is how do you mitigate this risk? It's very, very clear. You need to have insurance.
Given the complexities of your operations, insurance seems like a vital part of your risk management strategy. How has Nutrio leveraged marine insurance to address these risks effectively?
So, when we started our import process from Vietnam, from Dubai, from Bangladesh, etc., we realized that it's going to be risky, it's going to be heavy risk and high risk. So, we looked at all the options available in terms of where do we get insurance from. We talked to the insurance providers, we talked to insurance agents, etc. And eventually, the first containers we imported, we took insurance on our own and to figure things out from the insurance agencies and tried to generate the certificates on our own. And we realized that we need a little help. Everything we cannot do on our own. And when we look at all the work that we are doing, this is a very small part in terms of the process. And so if that process could be handled by somebody else for us, it would become so much easier for us. And that's how, from the second consignment till date, we have now partnered with Policybazaar for business for our needs. And Policybazaar for business, it supports us with a dedicated relationship manager. It supports us. We know that there's a call center we can call on, and the advantage we find with Policybazaar, which I hope a lot of other people in India pick up, is that when you call, they know you. They will say, okay, you're from this company and you've got this policy with us. A lot of cases, we call and we have to give them our details and OTPs and verification and all of that. And Policybazaar has a very clear thing. You call and you're connected. So people are then taking care of and that process started with our second consignment onwards. And we've now created a very clear process. Any bill of lading that is created, the day it is created, within 24 hours, our policy certificate has to be issued. So that by the time the container moves to the vessel and the vessel leaves the port, our insurance is already in place. So our insurance for all the containers is in place before the vessel moves, and it covers till the time the container reaches our warehouse in Nhava Sheva or the ports in land ports in around Bangladesh. So this part we've already figured out. We've made it into a process. There are people who are responsible for this. These people interact with systems, Policybazaar for business, as well as the insurance provider. They create the certificates on our own. It barely takes 10 minutes to create a marine insurance certificate. Not even 10 minutes time, probably 5 or 7 minutes time. It's that simple. You fill out a form, submit, your certificate is generated, and your insurance risk is taken care of. It's like a 5-minute process. And I can't imagine why people would not do it or would skip it or leave it for later. We did it we skipped it ourselves in the first consignment, but we realized what kind of a risk we are taking. It's silly not to do it. So now that we've made it into a process, there's a whole written down process, document, etc., that book a container, wait for the bill of lading to be created, get the insurance, and only then will the container be allowed to move from there. So we've created a process around it.
Looking to the future, what are Nutrio's strategic goals and innovations that you're most excited about?
Vision of providing very high nutrition and very high quality products to the people in India, to our consumers. That's there. And then beverages segment, we've already launched several products, and those products are doing well. But in the food and snacks category, we are still innovating. We are looking at millets as an example of creating nutritional products. So that journey is still going to be an ongoing journey. But our target is very clear. We want to achieve sales turnover of 500 crores in the short run. Along with that, we want to create a sustainable system, process-driven system, a system that is profitable also, but also value for our consumers and value for whoever looks at it.
Thank you, Anil, for sharing Nutrio's inspiring journey and insights on managing risks in the FMCG space. Your perspective on innovation and the role of insurance in securing business growth was truly valuable. To our listeners, thank you for tuning into the Business Insights podcast by Policybazaar for Business. Don't forget to subscribe for more conversations with industry leaders. Until next time, stay safe and keep innovating.
Thank you, Ashu. It's been a welcome time for me. I learned a lot during this discussion about what we are thinking, and we were able to present it in such a nice way. I really appreciate your time, and thank you for having me here.
The pleasure is all mine.